Okay, so hi everyone. Thank you so much for joining today's webinar. My name is Sarah Rabani. I am Employee Support Manager, and taking us through today's webinar will be Sabrina Joseph, who is Employee Support Supervisor. So today's webinar will be based on our top 10 questions that we normally get. So hopefully this should be able to answer quite a few queries that you may have. In terms of format, Sabrina will take us through the webinar slides. At the end of the webinar, there will be an opportunity for you to ask any questions that you might have. So please can you wait until the end to submit them. When you are asking questions, please can you ensure that you're using the Q&A function rather than the chat function, as we monitor the questions via the Q&A. So again, if you do have any questions at the end of the webinar, just pop them through on the Q&A function. And lastly, we would greatly appreciate if you could complete the survey that will pop up when the webinar has ended. Your feedback is really important to us, and because we do these webinars quite often, it's always good to hear your feedback in terms of what you feel like we should be adding, anything that we could be changing, or just feedback on how we're presenting. So if you could just take a couple of minutes to do that as well, we would greatly appreciate it. So I'll now pass on to Sabrina. Thank you.
Thanks, Sarah. Hi, everybody. Thank you for joining this webinar. Today we'll be going through how you log into your portal, when you'll be paid, where you can find your payslips and how to understand this, how your tax code is determined, when you think your tax code is wrong, claiming for sick pay, what your holiday entitlement is, how to enter holiday requests on the portal, what is the Nest pension, and how to opt out from the Nest pension. So you will need to log into the portal. Once you have created your username and password, you will just fill that in, submit username, submit password, and then enter it. This is how you get onto the portal. Once you have logged in, you will be asked to complete the two-factor authentication. We do use this to increase security and the safety of your data. If you select Remember Me, it just ensures that you don't need to keep doing it throughout the day. Once you've done it once, you'll just be able to log in. Each week, AMS send Giant your timesheet information on a data exchange file. This will be sent on a Wednesday or a Thursday, depending on your payment terms. Giant then process payroll the same day the files are received by BACS. So this means if we've sent your payroll on a Wednesday, you will get it on a Friday. And if we've sent your payroll on a Thursday, you'll get it by the Monday. So you may not have received funds when expected due to the following reasons. So if your timesheet wasn't approved by your line manager, you can avoid this. You may want to check with your line manager before the deadline just to make sure it's been done properly. Checking payment terms to ensure you are actually due the payment. You can check your terms with Giant or AMS. Please be aware it is AMS who pick what payment terms you're on. But if you need a better understanding of that, feel free, you can call in to us or contact us and we'll be able to explain that. Your timesheet information was not included on the weekly data exchange file, so you might not have sight of that as we get to see this file. But if you do ever call in to us saying that you're missing a payment, we would investigate this and then we'll have to find out from AMS when we're next due to receive your funds. Another reason is if you have an outstanding assignment or any outstanding documents on your portal, you'll be able to see this on your page, the home page, where it will have red writing saying what's outstanding to complete. Also, things like P45 or a new starter declaration, you'll get the same message. And lastly, if your bank details on the portal are incorrect, that will also make payments bounce back. So where you can find your payslip, you want to press the menu button, then you select payslip button. Then you click on the date and it should open up your payslip. Now they're available 24/7 on the portal. It's displayed in order as you're getting them. You'll see like your tax period, the date, and total gross. So yeah, you can download them as well. We would recommend if you do ever become a leaver at Giant, it would be worth downloading all your payslips. So as you can see, this is an example of what a payslip would look like. It will detail your gross pay, total hours paid, any deductions, so like such as tax, NI, and then how we get to your net pay. You will accrue hours. So if you see at the bottom of your payslip, it's a payroll analysis. You can see the total year-to-date taxable gross, the tax deductions, NI, and then the holiday pay. So the year-to-date would be what you've accrued so far, and then this period is what you're being paid in that pay slip. So tax codes are determined and provided by HMRC. It can be updated throughout the year, but it just depends on income, year-to-date earnings, and we have to get that request from HMRC. If we have your P45, that's just when you get that from your previous employer. We'll apply that and ensure that we're continuing on with the correct tax code. If you don't have that P45, then we'll just ask you to fill out a new starter declaration. And then after we've had that, we would, if we need to change it, we'll get a P6 from HMRC, sorry, and we can update your tax code. Just for general knowledge, the standard tax code for this year is 1257L. Your standard tax-free allowance per month is 1,048. Standard tax-free allowance per week is 242. And the tax is calculated when you're paid, not when the work was completed. If you believe that the tax code we hold for you is incorrect, even after you've had a few pay slips with us, we would highly recommend that you do contact HMRC. Unfortunately, we can't contact on your behalf, but you can take this number down and the PAY reference, and it's good to store these details just in case you ever need to speak to them. If it is the case that you do need a tax code change, like I mentioned before, an electronic P6 notification will be received, and we'll just update that. So you'll find your most upcoming payslip will have the new tax information on there. We can't accept any other documentation other than a P6 to change this tax code. So it is really important that we get this. Also, as well, I know HMRC, getting through to them can be difficult, but they have released a new tool which will be really helpful in understanding why your tax code has changed. So if you see the link at the bottom, it does contain useful guidance and it will help with any queries. So you might be better off using that link at first, get an understanding of why it might change. It might wrap up your questions straight away. If not, then you can call HMRC. So you may have the ability to claim statutory sick pay through Giant if you have been off work for more than 3 days. You can complete an SC2 form and return it to us via your feedback function on the portal. If you just click on this link, you'll be able to download the form, fill it out, and then send it over. If you are off sick for longer than 7 days, something called like a fit note or medical certificate from your GP would be required, and that will make you eligible for SSP. So just a regular question we get: why can't you get sick pay for the first 3 days? The first 3 days are classed as waiting days and will not be paid as per the government guidelines unless your sickness started before the 22nd of March 2022. And that was obviously due to COVID-19. So in regards to holiday entitlement, now your agency will advise us of your holiday leave. So the minimum days is 28, but they can let us know and we'll just, according to their instruction, we'll add on the correct annual leave entitlement. As I mentioned before, the holiday balance on your payslip is at the bottom. Holiday year does run from the 1st of January to the 31st of December. If you are on a rolled up holiday scheme, your holiday pay will be paid out to you each time you're paid, so you won't need to request it. And we'll just send you friendly reminders throughout the year to take your holiday. We do recommend, you know, using up your holiday just due to health and well-being. So entering your holiday, if you are on accrual, you'll need to select request holiday pay. This is the self-serve request on the portal, and it will be paid to you when you would have originally received payment for those hours if you had worked them. We can only pay up to like the total value was in the holiday pot. So step one, you want to select the correct assignment. Step two is the week ending date. So just make sure you've got the right date that you're picking. Then you want to fill in each box the units. So for each day that you've had off, you'll pop in the units and you'll just see the fields where the hours have been requested automatically appear. Once you've checked everything, all the hours are correct, the dates and the assignment, then you can just save it and you'll get that payment in your most upcoming payslip. So the Nest pension scheme, this is a government workplace pension scheme. You're automatically enrolled after 12 weeks, should you meet the following criteria as listed below. So as long as you continue to be engaged with Giant as of the auto enrollment date, if you're earning over 192 per week or 833 per month, if you are aged 22 and over, and if you're under the state pension age. So once you've been enrolled, the contribution amount is 5% for yourself and 3% by Giant. And we can currently only process into the Nest pension scheme. So after the 12 weeks deferral period, you will start contributing to Nest. So within about 1 week of this, you should expect to receive a welcome pack in the post from Nest. It's really important you wait for this before you make any contact with Nest. All like the relevant details will be on there to quote back to them when you're on the phone. You can just opt out. If you opt out within 28 days of receiving the welcome pack, anything that had been deducted for pension, you can get a refund on. If it's after 28 days, you won't get a refund, but you can still seize your account. So just a summary of what we've discussed today. We've mentioned logging into a portal, when you'll be paid, where the payslip is located on the portal and how to understand it. We've mentioned how your tax code is determined and what to do if you think your tax code is wrong, how to claim for sick pay, the holiday entitlement and how to enter this on the portal. We've discussed Nest pension and how to opt out of Nest. So just as we mentioned, there might be a few times you need to get in touch with us. We have live chat, which has a current response time of 15 seconds. It's really quick and easy, and you can get a response pretty much there and then. The feedback function on the portal. So if you click feedback and then add feedback, it will come up with a subject and a message. So similar to like an email format, you can send us a message via this, and you'll always get a reply back within 24 hours. So thank you so much for listening. If you have any questions, as Zara mentioned, please use the Q&A function of this webinar. If you do have a spare moment, please do complete this survey and we'll look to make any necessary changes for you in the future. Thank you. Hi, Rahana. Thanks for your question. How often is pension paid, weekly or monthly? So pension goes across to the Nest pension a month in arrears. So it's done monthly basically.
Hi, Pam. So regarding the holiday balance, yes. So once you have your first pay slip, that's when you will start accruing holiday pay. So on your first pay slip at the bottom, you'll see how much holiday you've accrued off the back of that pay slip. And as your pay slips go on, you'll see how much you accrued in that one pay slip, and then also how much you've got built up in your holiday pot as a total.
Hi Elizabeth, thanks for your question. What day of the month do we get paid when it's monthly? It just depends on, so if you are on a 30-day payment term, it's 30 days from when your timesheet was approved. So it can differ. I think in the slides I mentioned, if you are on 30-day payment terms, it's usually that it would come in on a Thursday. So payroll will be Thursday for you to get it on the Monday. But again, it all depends on if the timesheet's been approved on time. Okay, we'll give it a minute or so just to see if anybody else has any further questions. I think we've got one here. The portal user interface is different to what you showed. Everyone should have the same portal. I'll take a note of your name anyway, just so we can make sure like you're using the right links and stuff. We'll have a look into that and come back to you if that's okay, Johanna. Okay, thank you everybody for your questions so far. I hope you found this webinar very useful. If you do have any questions after we log off this webinar, just drop us a message on your feedback function in your portal or use the live chat. Thanks again all and have a lovely day. Bye.